today is his last day. Okay, let's wait a minute.
Do we have a quorum?
We do, but it's not quite 5. It's 4:58.
Yeah.
Okay.
At 5, I would say. Yeah, I'm sorry, but
You can look at your script and see if there's anything you can cut.
How many times, Deborah, do you think I'll have the opportunity to host a Zoom meeting from the City Council conference room? But I will not make a meal of it, I promise.
Okay.
Oh, did you guys have good Thanksgivings?
Very nice.
yes, very good. Very nice.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, Anna, you say that now. Next thing you know, in all of 24, you'll be hosting like every other month. Knock on wood.
All right, I hear the chimes. What a punctilious person you are, Auditor Sims.
I don't know if we have to wait, because the public's invited and, oh, look, there's someone
Fair
here.
enough. Hey, Jeff. Well, we are checking to see if there's any member of the public. There are no members of the public. Yeah, I opened the door 2 minutes ago and there was no one there. Okie doke. Hey, thanks for stopping by. All right, I call the November 27th, 2023 Bremerton Audit Committee hybrid special meeting to order. This meeting is open for the public to attend in person, or you may choose to listen in and view remotely. And except for item 3, when action is anticipated, there will be no opportunities for input. Written comments may be sent anytime to jenny.sims@ci.bremerton.wa.us or mailed to 345 6th Street, Suite 100, Bremerton, Washington, 98337. I'm the Audit Committee Chair, Anna Mockler, Vice President Deborah McDaniel, Community Representative Marwan Cameron, and last, but certainly not least, our beloved auditor, Jenny Sims. Under item 2, our auditor, Jenny Sims, will provide a landlord licensing compliance review update.
Okay, so the project's going fine. It's a lot of tedious work because the plan was to compare the taxpayer mailing address to the site address. So if those are different, there's an assumption that it would be a rental. The problem is that those 2 addresses may be the same, but maybe there's an extra space, or maybe in one of them it was called road and the other one it's called Ave. Maybe one of them has a directional and the other doesn't. So it's become more labor intensive than anticipated. And then given some extraordinary circumstances, Christine's not available to assist with the project, so it's all on me. So it's going slower than anticipated, but it's not difficult. It's just taking time. So there's not much else to say about that, unless you have questions.
Deborah, please go ahead.
No, I didn't. The only thing my brain was going on about, oh, geez, can you start to see if the street name is the same? And in that case, make some assumptions or something and then go from, I don't know. I automatically try to fix things. So
yeah, well, sometimes even the street name is misspelled in one of the data fields. Yeah. The problem is because I made the assumption that even if it's say 1532 and 1530, I thought, oh, well, the landlord's living next door or something. You know what? It's not the case. I've decided to go in and just kind of make sure that's the case, And when I looked at a sample, it's sometimes just that they have like 2 lots there, and in one case it's listed as 1532 and one is listed as 1530. So it's
complicated. Yeah.
It's not complicated. It's just time consuming.
Yeah. All right, thanks.
Welcome.
Marwan, did you have anything?
Nope, just glad that this is on pace. This is really important. I've heard from quite a few folks in the community on some of the treatment they've been receiving as residents. So hopefully this will correct some of those issues.
I'm trying not to think about how many times rent control has been defeated in the Washington State Legislature. I believe it's over 20 times.
Wow.
I mean, that doesn't, mean that it'll never succeed. It's just a discouraging fact.
Mm-hmm.
So here was my thought, and this is why Auditor Sims so kindly permitted me to call this special meeting, is that it seems to me at this point, the project is something that a good administrative assistant could be doing. And to perhaps put a pin in it and move on to something else while we're waiting for administrative assistants to come back. So I thought I would pitch that to you, and either you'll want to continue to ask Auditor Sims to continue with the current project, or Marwan, sorry, your hand was behind the mic.
So would that be then it would kind of resume in January is the thought?
Well, it would be January or February, because the administrative assistant is 1/5 of 1/10 of council's FTEs, FTE hours, like 1 day a week from one of our 2 staffers. And it seems that we will need to be hiring a new staffer. That seems like it's a possibility, or that her absence will extend into the new year. So Christine is doing, 2 people's jobs plus trying to do what she can to serve the audit committee as their, getting it all done person.
So I guess I have 2 thoughts. One is how long might that push it out if we wait until January or February as one? And then 2, if we do push it out to January, February, Jenny, would that be helpful to find some other strategies to, make sure that the addresses actually match up and the names are correct, and it'll make it easier. Like you can go faster later by kind of resolving whatever the conflicts are with the addresses.
Well, I think that the plan would be is that if we, so as I told Anna earlier, when you're a one-man shop, which is basically what I am, you'll always have, regardless of your qualifications, you will always have to do some of the more menial tasks as well. Just, you don't have staff to pass it to. So you get a mix of the high level and the lower level work always. In this case, this project happens to have a greater percentage of lower level work. And so I'm spending more time doing something that, Christine would be capable of doing. She could take some of that on for me. I think that the idea is that we would work on a different project, and Anna does have one in mind, and she wanted to talk to the committee about it. So it would essentially push this project back until the other project is completed.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Jenny, are you able to have interns?
Well, I wasn't part of the conversation. A similar question came up at a council meeting. Anna would have been present. I wasn't. Maybe she should speak to that. But Anna, did you want to speak to that, or should I share what limited knowledge I have about that?
Well, I can tell you what happened at the council meeting, which was that legal department reported back because we had asked, since Auditor Sims is 0.6 of an FTE, 0.8 of an FTE.
Yeah.
0.64, I
0.6.
think it is, but yeah,
0.6.
Yeah.
0.6. Yeah.
If we could use, because we're absolutely allowed to expand the auditor's role to be a full-time position. So our question was, can we get like an auditor helper?
Mhm.
We used more professional language. Under that same budget line, and legal explained very calmly and politely that, no.
Mhm.
But interns aren't, I mean, it could be an unpaid, like volunteerish position that might not hit the budget if that was their issue. Or was it other issues?
No, that was purely the issue. I don't know about unpaid interns. It's not like I have a speculation about it. I truly
Mhm.
don't know, but I've worked in
Okay.
other cities where unpaid interns were very restricted in what they could do, so as not to encroach upon the unions.
Right.
But what the situation is here, I honestly have no idea.
Okay, thanks. Marwan, unless you had another question, I've
No,
got
please
a
go ahead.
comment. I mean, I share Marwan's feelings that this is a really important project. There was a good reason it was at the top of our list. And housing issues in the city have not gotten any better or easier in the time since it landed on our list. So that would be my objection to not shifting. However, and unless council has another higher priority item, because we do more or less serve pleasure of council.
The item that I have is it's one that is on sort of satisfies one of council's 2023 goals and priorities, but I cannot say that I have spoken with council about this and gotten an approval of the majority, because I haven't. So
We don't look
it's
for approval from council, just to be clear on that.
Yeah.
No, we don't.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that I can't. Ideally, I would come in and I would say, I hope you will consider the fact that a majority of council or the entirety of council really wants to prioritize this when making your decision. But I can't
Yeah.
say that.
So what is the other project?
The other project is largely in public works. I see it, but that's largely because I'm chair of public works. But we have a repetitive work of surveys, open houses, basically getting community outreach, doing community outreach, getting public opinion, writing surveys, sending them out, analyzing the results. For me, the big thing is if we were doing that in-house instead of doing it through consultants, that it would be fiscally conservative. It would better represent the people of Bremerton. For example, instead of finding out what people think about Bremerton transportation by going to the Kitsap Holiday and Gift Festival at the fairgrounds, you'd go to some places where people in Bremerton were. It would be consistent. It would be on the basic premise that consultants cost 3 times what it does to do something in-house. It would have both of those benefits. And yeah, consistency, better representation, and fiscally conservative. However, I think this would be a longish project and would slow down the landlord license compliance for at least several months. So I'm just trying to do full disclosure here for you.
Yeah, that makes me uncomfortable.
Okay.
The slowing down of the existing project. I
Okay.
totally support what you're after there, and then presumably we'd own the data that was gathered from those surveys as well, which could be
Yes.
reused maybe, who knows, right? And all kinds of wonderful things could happen that way.
Yes.
But to replace something that we've punted on repeatedly since I've been on this committee, I think this is maybe the second, maybe the third time we've gone, oh, let's just do it later. It's too hard or something. There's another fire burning. I just feel like the time is now for this. And given that, I mean, okay, it's on the 2023 priorities list, which goes into 2024, right?
No.
It's not just
That's
the
okay.
calendar year. Okay, so you're not going to get it done anyway this year. My thought is let's keep this one going unless and until we know about an internship or volunteer opportunity or other means of supplementing Jenny's time and knowing what the leave situation is for the other admin in that department.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Am I making sense, Marwan? Do you?
Yeah, I agree with you. Not having the information of being on the audit committee previously, but we do have a housing and homelessness crisis, and I think it's imperative that we collect this data and we protect our tenants as much as possible. We really need to lean into that aggressively. At the same time, seeing as this survey needs to be done, and that's going to take some time. And I like fiscal responsibility also. It is a chance to advocate and say, hey, look, whether it's, dealing with this landlord situation or these surveys, we need to look into, non-paid internships. What would it be like to not have conflict with the unions? Because clearly there's an overabundance of work that needs to be complete. We need to address those issues.
I am willing to be the point person. In fact, I'm volunteering to be the point person to talk to everybody I can about what an unpaid intern can and cannot do. And in the meantime, gosh, I really hate saying this. I am really good at that kind of grinding, repetitive. It's not repetitive of that kind of detail-oriented stuff. And if you can break off a chunk of it, Auditor Sims, and send it to me, I will be happy to tackle it. And I will do exactly what you ask, and I will do no more, no less. I will not go wilding off on strange, uncharted paths. So that I'm sure we can do. I mean, I'm on council. It's a council committee, or it's a charter, but not taking anybody's job.
Right.
We actually don't know if you can, Anna.
Really? Okay.
Because what was his name? A former CPA wanted to, or a CPA member of the committee wanted to be more involved in the actual work of the audit. And the answer from, I believe it was legal. I'm not sure who it was. I know
it was legal. Yeah.
Legal, maybe finance, maybe both. I'm not sure, but some combination of that. I don't know. But they said, no, they cannot do the work. And I'm not sure about an unpaid intern either. But that would have to be looked into. I mean, I don't know why it would have to be an unpaid intern. If I recall the discussion with counsel from legal on this matter was not being able to hire someone. But maybe you can get a temp, which is it's not you don't become an employee, it's just an expense.
That's something I was just going to propose. Brilliant. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes interns work for a stipend, which is like a contract. It's like, we'll pay you $2,000 to do this work. And if it takes you 40 hours, you're brilliant. If it takes you 400, it's the same $2,000, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah,
mean,
there's lots of ways to structure that.
Then the question would be the budget. Where do you get the funds to pay for the intern or temporary employee?
Right.
I mean, one thing we could think about is, right now, audit gets charged for Christine's time, whether she works it or not. I mean, we just get charged for 1 day a week of her time. We're really not getting that. I mean, so perhaps, it's temporary, so there's no problem with that. But if it's becoming a more permanent situation, then that could be considered a way of, that all of her salary and benefits should be going to counsel. And then there would be some funds available.
Well, I will talk to Mike. I will talk to Jeff. I will talk to Kylie, and I will see what I can get.
Right. Okay. So in the meantime, then, well, I don't know if you can do an actual vote or anything on whether to do the alternative project.
We can do the vote, but it's not going to happen. Okay, I call for the question. How many people would like the Auditor Sims to possibly discuss and consider doing some other project, not the landlord license compliance? All in favor of Auditor Sims moving on from the landlord license compliance, please raise their hands. There we go. Okay.
It's not happening.
Hey, I can recognize it as a force when I run across one. Okay, so I will do this, and I think that actually this is something that'll be really congenial and helpful to council as a whole, because I have been agitating for us to have interns for, let's see, I was sworn in 2/22/22. So since then, because, and throughout the city, because we are hiring, the mayor has a very praiseworthy dedication to hiring from within, right? But that means that you're just hiring from within. If we bring in interns, people who are familiar with Bremerton, familiar with the organizations and the layout, and gosh, maybe even the history if we get really lucky. And how Bremerton works now, today, that people who are connected to this place, I think that those are things we can ask for in an intern. Like, we can't require residence in Bremerton, but we can require knowledge of and familiarity with Bremerton, I believe.
There's any number of benefits to interns. So yeah, I think you're not going to get any arguments there.
No, I don't get arguments, Vice President. I just get silence.
Oh, yeah.
Are there any programs like Scholars in Government, like high schoolers or OC?
There you go. Remember civics?
Well, look, Community Representative Cameron has just stepped up to volunteer to find out that information. Thank you, Marwan. Thank you.
I mean, I personally wouldn't encourage a high school level person, perhaps, but OC would be good, but
or WSU or UW.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like Peyton Swinford went through those programs and he might know. He actually taught civics, Vice President McDaniel, at Bremerton High
Right
School.
on. All right, all right.
He now has a
Great.
master's in
Yeah, public
being-
policy, I think. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So he might be a good resource to find out. Do you know Peyton Swinford, Marwan?
I do not.
Okay.
He's
then let
chair
me
of the
s-
Young Democrats, if I'm not mistaken.
then I've
That's
probably met
the
him.
Easiest way to find it.
Yeah, I probably met him. I just can't put the name with the face.
That'd probably be the easiest way to find him is through the party.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
And I could beat the Bushes at Olympic College.
All right. Is
We are
there anything else?
foraging.
Because we've got something to go to this evening.
Hey,
so-
I'm sorry, it sounded like
keep
dogs were fighting in the hallway, so
Wow.
that was disconcerting.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Please go ahead. You have a party to go to?
Yeah, we've got something to go do. So if there's
Okay.
nothing else, I'd like us to wrap
Nope,
up. We
I
can.
am Community Representative Cameron. Yeah, Auditor Sims, please go ahead.
Well, I see that you have the next meeting for December 18th. I'm wondering if we still want to do that. 3 weeks away. Do you want to do that still?
Did that change? I have December 13th on my page here.
Oh,
Should it-
did it change?
No, that's the next Audit Committee Chair report to City Council.
Oh, report. Okay. Sorry about that.
It's okay. Can we reconsider that in a couple of weeks? Can we reconsider canceling that in a couple of weeks? Is that okay, Auditor Sims? Will that
Absolutely.
answer? Okay. All right. Okay.
Works for me.
All right then. Seeing there's no public comment. There are no public participants. Next Audit Committee Chair report to City Council, December 13th, 2023. Next meeting of the Audit Committee is December 18th, 2023. I haven't got a gavel, so I will be using my knuckles to say thank you all for coming to this extraordinary meeting. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
The meeting is adjourned.
Happy holidays if we don't meet
Everybody.
before then.
See you guys in a few weeks.
See you in
Okay.
December. Bye-bye.
Bye.